Harold is exactly 71 years old. 5 years ago, he could easily walk 2 miles every single evening without breaking a sweat. But today, simply walking up a slight incline in his neighborhood leaves him completely winded. His legs feel like they are filled with heavy, solid lead. He spends his entire day trapped in a deep, exhausting brain fog. When Harold told his doctor about this profound, crushing fatigue, the doctor simply smiled, closed the chart, and blamed it on natural aging. But Harold is not just getting old, he is being chemically suffocated. Every single morning, Harold swallows a small white pill called Metoprolol to control his blood pressure. He genuinely believes this medication is a protective shield for his heart. But if you are over 65 years old and your doctor has you taking an old-school beta blocker like Metoprolol or Atenolol purely for basic high blood pressure, you are caught in a catastrophic medical mistake. The medical industry has essentially turned you into a biological zombie. Treating simple hypertension with these outdated beta blockers is exactly like trying to drive your car on the highway with the emergency handbrake pulled all the way up. You might be pressing the gas pedal, your muscles might be desperately screaming for oxygen, but the engine is completely locked. These drugs do not just gently lower your blood pressure, they chemically strangle your heart's natural ability to accelerate and pump blood when you actually need it. You are not losing your vitality to old age. Your core biological engine has been artificially chemically changed down by a medical protocol that is over 2 decades out of date. Let us look at the adrenaline ambush and the terrifying microscopic reality of how this zombie pill literally locks the doors of your own heart cells. Locks the doors of your own heart cells. Let us take a microscopic journey deep inside one of Harold's heart muscle cells, specifically looking at the outer wall of that cell. Every single heart cell in your body has tiny, specialized molecular locks on its surface, called beta receptors. These receptors are designed by nature to accept one very specific, powerful biological key: adrenaline. When you make a physical effort, like Harold trying to walk up that slight incline, your brain senses the exertion and floods your bloodstream with adrenaline. Adrenaline is the hormonal key that opens those locks, signaling your heart that it is time to beat faster and harder, to pump more oxygenated blood to your struggling muscles. But when Harold swallows his Metoprolol every morning, the zombie pill does not gently lower his blood pressure. It acts exactly like sticking an old piece of chewing gum deep inside every single one of those molecular locks. The pill sits in the receptor, blocking it so nothing else can get in. Now Harold tries to walk. His brain releases the adrenaline key, but the key cannot enter. It bounces uselessly away from the jammed heart cell. It is exactly like setting the mechanical RPM governor on a standard lawnmower engine to the absolute lowest setting, then trying to force that machine to cut through thick, wet, high grass. The lawnmower meets the high grass, which is the equivalent of physical effort, but the engine physically cannot increase its RPMs. The engine simply bogs down, struggles, and stalls. This is where the catastrophic medical failure lies. Your doctor traditionally focuses obsessively on lowering a single number on the blood pressure cuff. And yes, the Metoprolol lowers Harold's number. Your cuff might read 128/78. Your doctor looks at the chart, smiles, and says, "Harold, you look perfect." But they are completely ignoring the microscopic reality. They are ignoring the catastrophic lack of oxygen and vital nutrients reaching your leg muscles and your brain. They are ignoring your profound exhaustion.
The traditional medical protocol has sacrificed your entire quality of life just to achieve a pretty number on a chart. Let us look at the metabolic meltdown and the terrifying truth that this chronic asphyxiation is quietly transforming your body into a ticking diabetes time bomb.
Into a ticking diabetes time bomb. Let us look at what is happening to Harold's metabolism while his heart is trapped by this chemical handbrake. Your skeletal muscles are the largest consumers of glucose, or blood sugar, in your entire body. Inside your muscle cells are microscopic furnaces called mitochondria. When your heart pumps vigorously during movement, these mitochondria burn sugar to create pure cellular energy. But when the zombie pill artificially throttles your heart rate down, your muscles simply do not receive the oxygen flow required to keep those furnaces burning. The mitochondria power down. They go dormant. Suddenly, the sugar from your meals has nowhere to go. It just floats aimlessly in your bloodstream. Your body panics. It must remove this toxic excess sugar from your blood, so it desperately converts it into triglycerides and thick, inflammatory visceral fat, specifically packing it around your waistline. At the exact same time, your cells become physically deaf to insulin. This is called insulin resistance. When Harold steps on the scale, he is absolutely devastated. Over the last 5 years, he has gained 14 pounds of stubborn belly fat, even though his diet has not changed at all. His blood tests show he is now officially pre-diabetic. His doctor frowns, blames him for not exercising enough, and tells him to eat fewer carbohydrates. The doctor completely ignores the massive clinical data proving that patients taking these specific beta blockers have a terrifying 22% higher risk of developing full-blown type 2 diabetes. The pill is literally re-engineering his metabolism to store fat and reject insulin. Releasing this chemical handbrake is the absolute first step to restoring your energy and stopping the weight gain. But if you are over 65 years old and you have been swallowing these beta blockers for the last 3, 5, or 10 years, your cellular metabolism is already deeply broken. The metabolic damage is done. Your mitochondria are severely suppressed, and your cells are locked in a chronic insulin resistance. Simply changing your blood pressure medication tomorrow will not magically instantly regenerate a decade of metabolic degradation. To actually reverse this cellular resistance, burn away that toxic visceral fat, and wake up your dormant mitochondria, you must use a highly specific, targeted cellular repair protocol. You need the exact biological raw materials to flush out the cellular inflammation and rebuild your insulin receptors from the inside out. There is a private, deeply researched biological presentation detailing this precise metabolic repair and cellular regeneration blueprint. We have linked this mandatory guide in the first pinned comment below. If you are over 65 years old and you refuse to let a blood pressure pill turn you into an exhausted, overweight diabetic, you must watch this video. Pause this documentary right now. Go to the first pinned comment below and click the link to start repairing your metabolism before the cellular damage becomes completely irreversible. But before you do, you must understand exactly how to safely escape the zombie pill trap without putting your life at risk. Let's look at reclaiming the engine and the precise evidence-based medical transition your doctor should be offering you right now.
Transition your doctor should be offering you right now. Harold finally took control of his own biology. He scheduled an appointment and directly asked his doctor about the massive clinical trials proving that beta blockers are no longer the first-line treatment for simple hypertension. He demanded a modern solution. But he did not simply throw his metoprolol in the trash, and this is an absolute life-or-death warning. If you are taking a beta blocker, you must never, ever stop taking it abruptly on your own. Because your heart's adrenaline receptors have been blocked for so long, your body has actually grown millions of new, highly sensitive receptors to try and compensate. If you suddenly remove the chemical handbrake, a massive flood of adrenaline will hit all of those newly exposed receptors at once. Your heart rate and blood pressure will violently spike, which can easily trigger a massive fatal heart attack. The transition must be a slow, heavily supervised micro-tapering process. Over the course of 8 carefully monitored weeks, Harold's doctor slowly reduced his dose of the zombie pill and gradually introduced a modern alternative, a calcium channel blocker. Unlike the zombie pill, a calcium channel blocker does not lock your heart's adrenaline receptors. It does not strangle the engine. Instead, it simply relaxes the smooth muscle walls of your blood vessels, allowing them to open wide. The pipes get larger, so the pressure naturally drops, but your heart is completely free to accelerate and pump oxygen whenever your muscles demand it. Within 3 months of fully escaping the chemical handbrake, Harold's life completely transformed. The heavy, exhausting lead in his legs evaporated. He started walking his 2 miles every evening without stopping once. Because his heart was finally pumping oxygen-rich blood to his muscles, his cellular mitochondria woke up. They started burning the sugar in his blood again. Without changing his diet, Harold lost the 14 pounds of toxic belly fat. His fasting blood sugar dropped perfectly back into the normal range. His blood pressure was perfectly controlled, but he was no longer a biological zombie. Do not let medical inertia steal your golden years. If you have spent the last decade trapped on these outdated pills, accumulating belly fat, and suffering from profound, unexplained exhaustion, your metabolic system is deeply scarred. Simply switching your medication will stop the ongoing damage, but it will not instantly repair a decade of severe cellular insulin resistance. To truly burn away the visceral fat, wake up your dormant mitochondria, and rebuild your metabolic health from the ground up, you must use a highly specific, concentrated cellular repair protocol. You need the exact biological raw materials to flush out the inflammation and restore your youthful energy production. We have linked the complete, step-by-step metabolic repair and cellular regeneration blueprint in the first pinned comment below. If you are over 65 years old and you refuse to spend another day living in a chemical fog, you must watch this private presentation right now. Click the link in the first pinned comment below before the metabolic damage becomes completely irreversible. Stop driving with the handbrake pulled, unlock your engine, demand modern medicine, and finally reclaim the vibrant, energetic life that is rightfully yours.